I just didn't admit you earlier.
So what's happening now? What's the deal?
What's the deal? I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for your invitation card. This one I said I get.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your government. Anyway, let me not even get into that, man. These people they're killing me, man.
Who, the government?
Can you tweet?
Can you tweet?
Are you not being impacted?
I'm going live now.
Hi Lagos, my name is Buchi Franklin.
You know your platform is Twitter.
With critical
Your platform
focus
of
on the
choice.
Nigerian economy, we see the bigger picture. Business Express on Smooth 98.1.
Smooth 98.1, love music, love life. I am Mairo-Ese. It is time for today's edition of Business Express 981. Today I have Rotus with me. Morning, Rotus. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. Ayo, good morning to you. Good morning to Lagos. Hope everybody is doing okay.
All right, we're doing good. Thank you very much. Now, for those who are listening to us, you can go onto our YouTube channel to watch us live. So YouTube is youtube.com/smooth981FM Lagos. Also, you can send us your message on WhatsApp so you can be a part of the conversation. And that number is 0809 444 0981. Send us your message there as we look at some of the trending business news from Nigeria and across the world. Our focus this morning, amongst others, example of Nigeria's slow process is Twitter. We're looking at that, and of course, the review of the MSME week ongoing at the moment. Rotus, we started the conversation this morning when you came on, before we went on air, about the situation of things, and you sounded quite disillusioned. Please take us through today's stories.
Yeah, so the federal government has set up a negotiation committee, which is supposed to, negotiate. I don't know what they're negotiating, but it's supposed to be negotiating with Twitter. It includes the Attorney General of the Federation and Honorable Minister of Justice. It includes the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Issa Tami. It includes the Minister of Foreign Affairs, which is Jeffrey Onyema. The Minister of Works and Housing. The Minister of Works and Housing. If anybody is just tuning in, this is the negotiation committee that is supposed to meet with Twitter. And then the Minister of State for Labor and Employment, Dr. Ngige, as well as other relevant government agencies. How many of these people are going to fit into a room, or is it going to be virtual, to sit and talk with Twitter? Over what? To negotiate for the tweets to be restored. I see the thing, this shows this show. It's called Business Express, right? We only have less than 15 minutes to update people on what's going on in the economy and what's going on. We got to be quick. The Nigerian government is painfully slow. Painfully. 2 weeks have passed, or is it 3 weeks?
I think it's over 2 weeks.
What's in place?
3 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks?
A little over 2 weeks.
Past 2 weeks, businesses that have not been able to market their goods online or anything have been they've not been able to move forward, right? And after 2 weeks, you are now coming up with a negotiation committee that includes people that I don't even know. Don't they have work? Don't they have other things that they are doing? What is the Minister of Works and Housing doing on a committee with Twitter? What is the Minister of State for Labor and Employment doing there? I can understand the Minister for Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami. I can understand him. Maybe the legal side, I don't even know, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. What is he doing there? You know? And look, this is not just the petroleum industry bill, yes, has been languishing for 14 years, right? This administration came into power 6 years ago. They got about 2.5 years left. The petroleum industry bill, in order to reform the oil and gas industry, has not been able to move forward. They said it would pass in April of this year. That's the National Assembly. First of all, it took a while to get signed, right? Then there was it was changed to Petroleum Industry Governance Bill. They broke it down. Then went over to the National Assembly. They said it would be passed in March, then April. Now they're saying it's going to be passed in June. This is Senate President Lawan and Speaker of the House, Bajabiamila. It has been, look, that's the Petroleum Industry Bill. When the president came into office, it took him 6 months to announce his cabinet. And even after the 6 months he announced his cabinet, it took them another 3 months to figure out their portfolios. So look, you put the Petroleum Industry Bill aside, you put the president aside and his time it took him to announce his ministers, you put the time aside it took them for their portfolios. Look at what's going on with the deregulation of the downstream sector. Whether you support removing the subsidy or not. Oil prices flirted with $75 a barrel yesterday or day before yesterday. That is their highest level since April of 2019, a 2-year high. Oil prices. Mele Kyari, Group Managing Director of NNPC, came out, I think I said it on the show, he came out recently and said that higher oil prices are a chicken and egg situation for Nigeria. Because the higher the oil prices go, the higher the landing cost of fuel. Where is the urgency from government to quickly negotiate with labor and come to some form of resolution? They're having this meeting, Lord knows how long, nothing has moved forward. The higher oil prices go, the more of an impact on NNPC, that is the sole importer of fuel into the nation. NNPC has said that 6 projects have been to the tune of 26 billion naira, have not been able to be funded. NNPC has said that their allocation to the federation accounts, which goes into FAC, has been impacted by the higher costs. No urgency on deregulation of fuel with labor. No urgency on announcing his cabinet when he came into office. No urgency on allocating the portfolios of the ministers. No urgency on the Petroleum Industry Bill. No urgency on getting the Twitter thing sorted out. I mean, it is the slow glacial pace of this administration is literally killing. What's the latest on the Siemens electrification bill? Siemens electrification deal with the German company. It's supposed to give us 25,000 megawatts by 2023 or so. No, we've had no update on power. I mean, it's just, what? Yeah.
We have no updates.
I just
do you think
that don't know,
They pick their battles because we have a high power delegation going to meet with Twitter very swiftly. Yet the things that matter the most, power, infrastructure, things like that, oil sector, we're not looking into that or responding as quickly to that. Let me take some comments from our WhatsApp platform. Benga Kamu says, Rotus, we have time in this country, plenty of time. So we are assembling a 50-man team to talk with Twitter. I just have no words. It's interesting, Rotus, I'll take some more comments now, but just wanted to point out that isn't it interesting that they say that it's not that important, it's not such a big deal, yet you send such a high-power delegation to meet with Twitter. I don't know how many countries would send their ministers, like you mentioned, who should be very busy tackling the issues that we currently have that we face in Nigeria, and have enough time to sit with Twitter to negotiate opening the organization. It's really mind-boggling. MI from Akoka says, the government thinks everything is checkers. This is chess, baby. You ban before negotiations, which is what you should have done first. You didn't even think of putting one tech-savvy person on the team. Snail speed government. I think I'm trying to justify in my mind, to give the benefit of the doubt as to why the Minister of Works and Housing is on that delegation team. Is it for the optics because he's a popular minister? Is it to discuss the housing? I can justify the Minister of State for Labor and Employment, because we have talked about the loss of income for a number of young Nigerians whose businesses rely on social media platforms like Twitter. So maybe for the sake of argument, or maybe even inviting Twitter to rethink coming to have an office in Nigeria. So the number of employees or the number of people that would be employed by Twitter, maybe that's why he's on that panel. But there's no justification. All right. So Daniel says, Rotus, calm down. Don't give yourself high blood pressure for Nigerian matter. Ogeno Chuko says, good morning, guys. Bunch of, they will sit down and discuss with their children's mate from Twitter. True. But they are quick to ban Twitter. Good morning, I am Rotus, says Victor. Dikwa says, all I want to say is that they don't really care about us. These are real issues. These are real concerns because this is something that the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy should be able to handle. Do you understand? By himself. He should have a team of young people, whether young or old, who are working with him and can effectively discuss or negotiate.
Well,
like you mentioned,
what are they discussing? What are they discussing, Ayo? What are they talking about? They deleted his tweet because it ran afoul of regulations. So what is so put the tweet back? I mean, it is mind-boggling,
It is. Let's go on to YouTube. YouTube, we have a few comments there too. Babs Omore says, Rotus, you are just vexing. That's why it's called government bureaucracy. Emeka Egbochuko says, it will be a sad picture when all the grandpas go to meet with young, smart millennials. The picture will show Nigeria's problem. We have analog people working in a blockchain age. He says it's simple. We should have an age camp. If you will be 65 years, after 8 years, don't bother. So once you're max 57 years old, you have no business in governance. Go and be a special advisor. All right, a few more comments. Rotus, are you ready? Can I take some more comments?
I'm ready.
I think whilst you just breathing out, let me take some comments from WhatsApp. So Rotus and I, we are in Lagos and they're in Abuja. Do they hear us at all? Says Otunuga. Ladele Johnson says, Rotus, calm down. Why shouldn't the Minister of State for Labour be there since Twitter is affecting business? Like what I mentioned. Also for works and housing, isn't Twitter ban affecting the real estate?
Really? Exactly. It is.
Okay. So the Minister of Works and Housing should go. He cannot send a member of his team. Look, all right. Okay, then someone said, and that's something I actually I was discussing with someone yesterday, as to will this committee be funded? Will they get extra money if they have to try? I don't know if they're traveling or it's virtual. Will there be a cost element to this committee that has been set up? Because like what this person said, committees draw allowances, that is it. Orisha says, morning guys, please leave the Nigerian government alone. They're not serious. Jeffrey Onyema is the only person I trust his judgment on that team. And please, and besides though, Jeffrey Onyema, okay, I do understand he's meeting with the envoys from the US consulate and all that. But going to Twitter, is Jack Dorsey, is he speaking on behalf of a government of a nation? I don't understand. And then we have from Benga Kamo again says, Rotus, all the things you listed, those people will just, they live in an alternate reality. Fashola is on the committee to cover the legal angle. Well, we have a whole Attorney General of the Federation on that board. So I don't know if Fashola will be needed for his legal mind. Goke from UK says, please play us Michael Jackson. They don't really care about us. And then Ugo from Sulere says, the moment a whole president is responding to Jack for a tweet that was taken down is when we're just not a country. We can have presidents respond. I know the US president a number of times, but he wouldn't send a high-powered delegation. When his handle was removed, or he was suspended, from Twitter, he didn't send a high-powered delegation to interface or to interact with Jack Dorsey. It's really quite interesting. Austin from Satellite says, meeting with Twitter, a few number of people legislating over Nigeria. Emmanuel from Ikoyi says, my take on the Minister of Works being on that team is a clear message that some of these ministers were just handed portfolios, not necessarily based on their skills or expertise. That's the point. It appears they do not trust those ministers that are clearly supposed to be involved. Ayo says, I don't believe Fashola was selected because of his works housing portfolio, but experience. Don't forget he's a lawyer. We agree, but again, just like the previous person said, then why is his portfolio different? Ogenochuku says, Uncle Lai Mohammed said people that are affected by Twitter ban should move to other social media. Does he know the unique features of Twitter? And also don't forget, and later on we'll be talking about it during Freshly Pressed, that is threatening to ban other social media platforms. Lenin says, it just shows that what is more important to the government. Robert Kennedy said, intolerance is dangerous. So these are some of the comments that have come in this morning, Rotus.
Yeah, well, on another note, it's MSME week, micro, small, medium enterprise week. Vice President Osibanjo, who, by the way, is supposed to be the tech representative of this country. I haven't even mentioned him. Remember, Ayo, he flew to California to Silicon Valley, he was shaking hands with the Google CEO, Microsoft CEO. He came back to Nigeria. He formed a tech forum with young people. He picked them, Flutterwave, all these different tech companies, Osibanjo is the tech representative for Nigeria.
And he can double as the legal mind. If they
Thank you. He's a lawyer. He's a senior advocate of Nigeria. Osibanjo alone, by himself, can go and talk to Twitter. Anyway, Osibanjo was pictured in Abuja in a bookstore. And he was pictured. I've shared the pictures with you. It's a shame we can't put them on Instagram or
tweeted.
Status for our viewers. But also, Vice President Osibanjo was pictured in a bookstore for MSME Week. He was reading. He takes such good pictures. He takes the best pictures. And so
we're out of time, Rotus. Be laughing there, please.
Okay,
I think it's saved by the bell. Let me quickly round up before you laugh. The kind of laughter that will land you in the kind of place that you will not be laughing. All right, thank you so much, Rotus, and thanks to all our listeners. Thank you for being a part of the conversation. Those who listen and who watched on YouTube and sent in messages as well. We take this conversation further during Freshly Pressed 91. We will be talking about the ECOWAS decision on the restrictions of the government on Twitter and the likes, and their response as well. And also join us tomorrow morning, same time, for another edition of Business Express 981. The Smooth Breakfast Show continues here on Smooth 98.1.
Because on the Nigerian economy, we see the bigger